Hello, I'm Serena Nelson, and I've been knitting for about 5 years, and I enjoy knitting for family and friends and do a little knitting for myself. Today I'm going to demonstrate on how to do the rib stitch. The rib stitch is made up of knit and purl stitches within the same row, and probably the stretchiest of the rib stitches would be a combination of a knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, all the way across your row. And that's what I have done here on this upper portion. This is a knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, and so on. So when you're looking at your piece of work that you're knitting on, this is the right side of this particular piece, and your knit stitches are the stitches that are popping out at you. Your purl stitches are the ones that are recessed. So to start out on this, these are your knit stitches. So when I'm working on this row, I'm going to start out knitting these 2 stitches. And to knit the stitch, you hold the needle with your stitches in your left hand and your empty needle in your right hand. And you're just going to insert your needle through the stitch towards the back. You've kind of created a little X there with your needles. Wrap your yarn around the back of that between those 2 needles. Bring it up, pull that loop forward and slide it off, and you'll just give it a little bit of a tug. So you take your needle, insert it through there, yarn wraps around between those 2 needles, pull your needle down and towards you, bringing that loop with you, and that is created the knit stitch. So I've done my first 2 knit stitches. Now I have to do my 2 purl stitches. Now on a purl stitch, the yarn is to the front when you're starting. It's like you see, if I was to knit this next stitch, the yarn is on the back. But to knit a purl stitch, you need to bring your yarn to the front of your needle and just let it hang down there. And you are going to insert your right needle through the front of that stitch to the left. Take your yarn, wrap it around that needle, kind of pull it down. And then here, you're actually going to pull your needle down and push it towards the back and slide that stitch off. So once again, your yarn is in the front. You take your right needle, insert it through that stitch, going towards the left. Take your yarn, wrap it around that needle, and as you're pulling that needle down, you want to push kind of back and take your stitch off. And then that is the purl stitch. Now the next 2 stitches are a knit stitch, so I need to be sure to move my yarn back to the back of my needle. And then I will knit these next 2 stitches. And my other 2 stitches are going to be the purl stitches. I'm going to bring my yarn to the front to start the stitch. Insert the needle, wrap the yarn around, and as you pull the needle down, you're actually going to be pushing it to the back of that needle and slide your stitch off. And that is the rib stitch. And you will do that on all your rows throughout. Once again, I'm Serena, and I've just demonstrated the rib stitch for scarf knitting.